of love. Welcome to the revolution of love. I will be kind to my brothers and sisters. I will be kind to the land and sea. I will be kind to all of God's creatures. I see you, I love you. Can you hear me, everyone? Welcome to the revolution of love. Welcome to the revolution of love. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, welcome. I just set it up. We are officially live on Facebook. So those Zoomers, everybody say hello to our Facebook family, our Revolution of Love Facebook family that is tuning in that way. We're everywhere. We're gonna be on YouTube Live soon. It's just happening now. It's all happening. And now I'm going to kick it over to Leslie D Judd, who is going to be blessing us with a song right now. Over to you, Leslie.
She, her, hers, my word is peace. You are the rainbow, and I am the dream. You are starlight, and I am moonbeam. We'll dance with the shadows and fly through the clouds. Then we'll come home again. Come home again. With the sun on our shoulders and wind in our hair, with our feet on the earth and our thoughts in midair, we'll make our own space as we learn who we are. Then we'll come home again. Come home again. Friends are as strong as each is alone. So sometimes I'll see you, sometimes I won't. There are some things friends may not heal. With love on our side, we can try. We'll share gentle secrets and throw away lies. We'll laugh at our anger and grow very wise. Seasons will change, and we will too. And we'll come home again. Come home again. Come home.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much, Leslie. Is there anything you wanted to say after that for us?
The song is not about one person coming home. It's about community coming home. This is written for the community in Indianapolis that literally saved my life in the 80s. So thank you.
Thank you. I thought so. I thought there was something that needed to be said there. So let's show Leslie some love. Thank you so much for that blessing, that prayer through music, and also Mylene for kicking us off with our song. Oh, it's just already a wonderful service. And I am so grateful that we get to do these services on Sunday night. And make no mistake, these services are for your healing, for your shifting, and for your transformation. So before we go any further into that healing, into this experience of a Sunday night shift at Revolution of Love, say that fast, I'm going to light the candle. If you have a candle you to light, please feel free to light it at this time. I know for next time, if you don't have one, that you can bring one. So intentionally now lighting this candle. And I'm going to be praying in my own way, recognizing that some of us come from very different backgrounds. You may have a faith tradition you follow and you may not. And so it's all good here. We're all sitting at the table together, and I'll just pray in my own way. Let us do like we do first off, and that is take 3 deep breaths in, breathing in through the nostrils. So here we go. This is the first service of the year of 2021. So make it count. Everybody, let us breathe in through the nose. And breathe out when you're ready, out of the mouth. And actually, we're going to do this 5 times this evening. So this is the second breath. So breathing in. And breathing out. Feel free to make a sound on these exhales, my friends. No one's listening, no one's watching, no one cares. So we breathe in through the nose. And when you're ready, breathing out and arrive. Okay, and again, a 4th breath, breathing in. And breathing out. One more. We breathe in through the nose. And we breathe out. And so turning within for a word of prayer. And saying, lifting up the names of God, or recognizing there's so many names. And so saying, Holy One in love, giving thanks for you, giving thanks for the blessing of you that is upon our hearts and our minds and our souls and our very bodies. And I recognize right now that there is a lot of physical ailments. And so I would like a special prayer of blessing and of healing upon people's bodies, whether it's people at this service on this Zoom, or watching, tuning in on Facebook, or people that have friends and loved ones that are experiencing ailments, medical problems, or anything that is happening in the body temple. Let us lift them up right now. A healing prayer right now. And so as we are coming further into this moment intentionally now, just having had that offering and that ask of a healing, I also ask us to really come together in a moment of high resolve that this is a new year, and that we recognize that every day is a new beginning. Every moment is a new beginning. And so God, at the Revolution of Love right now, please really hold our feet to the fire. Give us the strength and the bravery that we need to continue to lean in to the new beginnings that are before us. I want to ask a special prayer upon all the individuals gathered and tuning in, that they come home to dreams right now, God, that they come home to what it means to be a dreamer, that they come home to what it means to be in dreaming. We lift up this dreaming experience, recognizing that when we dream, we are closest to you. And we recognize that we need a bigger template. And so at this Revolution of Love service tonight, we expand beyond the margins of what we think we know and what is, and we go into what ought to be. Yes. So a prayer of holy thanksgiving for each person that has gathered here. For the people that have just transitioned or who have recently transitioned in this last year, we know that they are smiling upon us and that they are now ancestors with us. I give thanks for the focus of you. And if there is pain now in people's hearts, please, God, let there be some peace. Let there be some ease, and let there be some calm. For this evening. And so it is. Amen. Amin. Ashe. Aho. So I must say that I got so taken with our new service of the year that the triplets, please forgive me. I don't know if the trips are still, but forgive me that I usually they offer our breathing. So I completely spaced. But we will get there next week. We will get there next week if they would like to still do it for us. Now, without further ado, I'm going to invite Taylor to offer our land acknowledgement. Taylor, please.
Hello, everybody. Taylor X here. At this time, I'd like to offer the land acknowledgement. At this time, we want to take a moment to reflect on the lands on which we reside. We are coming from many places, and we acknowledge the ancestral homelands and traditional territories of Indigenous people who have been here since time immemorial, and to recognize that they are still here, fighting for human rights, for land, and their culture. It is important to not only honor the legacy and lives of the original caretakers of this land, but continue to build our solidarity with Native peoples across the Americas and across the globes. I am in North Hollywood, and I acknowledge the land of the Chumash, the Tongva, Wunya, and Taravia, and acknowledge and honor them.
Oops, we're having some interference there. Yes, if we could all be on mute, except for those that are speaking. And please feel free in the chat to say what lands you are acknowledging, please, and residing upon, I should say. If the trips are here, would they like to offer some breathing for us? Because I really don't want to miss that. Can they come off mute? Is there anyone there? Let's see.
Say hi, Mom. Say hi. Hi. Can you wave? She's waving. Wait. Say your name.
Hey, hi everybody. I'm the Cargan Venti.
What did you need? What did you want?
Be random good and be out to the
No, ask Rob what she wanted. Did you say hi?
Hi. Hi everybody.
Did you just want me to say hi, Rob?
Hi, Rev.
Why can't we hear? We can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Rev, but she was asking if they could do some breathing, because it'd be nice to have that.
Okay. Nakai, can you lead them in breathing?
Can you lead me breathing?
No, you can. You lead them in breathing.
Can you lead me?
Go ahead. Show
Can
them
you lead them in breathing?
Yes, you can. So go ahead. So what do you do?
He's now talking again.
That's okay. They want you to talk.
Hi everybody.
Okay.
It's waving to me. Hi, Marlene.
Oh, I'm Eileen. Okay.
She was waving to me.
Yeah.
Hi.
They're all waving to you. And see, Rose, Mommy, and Daddy are waving to you too.
Hi.
Hey, yeah. Okay, so show them how to breathe. Show them how to breathe.
What are you going to do? Breathe in the good.
Breathe in the gut and breathe out the yucky. Show me.
And do 3 breaths.
He's not putting.
That's okay. Say do 3 breaths. Say do 3 breaths.
He's not listening to me.
That's okay. That's okay. You don't worry about that, okay? You just show them how to do it, okay? Do 3 breaths. Tell them that.
Breathe in 3 breaths.
Okay. First, okay. 2 more. Okay, it's a little fast. Okay. Say good job, everybody.
Good job, everybody.
Wow, thank you so very much. And I'm so glad we got those breaths in, because I tell you, I don't think the service could have gone on. So thank you, everybody. Say thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Love you. Okay. So we're going to keep the service going now. Welcome if you are just tuning in. I hope my connection is stable. My internet is a little iffy tonight. So everybody, let's just say a prayer that this continues. Welcome. I am Reverend Felicia Perez-Zader, and I'm the founder of the Revolution of Love Ministry and Movement. This began in 2012. So it's been almost 8, let's see, it's been 8 years. Oh my goodness, it's going to be, yeah, we're well into our 8th year. Just a few things about this. If you are just tuning in for the first time, we are a welcoming, brave, affirming community. We have, let's see, we affirm you, and we want to welcome you that if you have a faith tradition that you follow, that is great. And even if you don't, that is fine too. Everybody is welcome at the table. We recognize all racial identities and people from all different abilities and groups and walks of life. Anything that I haven't mentioned, you have a seat here. It's very important that you know that, my friends. Oftentimes, certain ministries do say, if you only believe in God this way, that is how we accept you. And that is not what we say here. Or if you only look this way, or if you only love this way, then that's acceptable. And we abolish that. That is not what we stand on at all. I hope this is really, really clear. So we've been doing these services in a variety of ways for the last 8 years or so. And we began in Berkeley and then went to Los Angeles. And now here we are on Zoom. And we're going to keep on doing these services for you, because we recognize that there is a need, that people are really engaging with these services. And we give thanks for you and how you are very present and engaging. I want to also say this, that we continue to defend Black life. We continue to center Black lives and stand with Black Lives Matter as the movement for racial justice and racial equity and equality that is happening right now. We're not hearing about it as much, are we? And so we must continue to stick in the struggle and stand with. And that means what? That means continuing to dismantle white supremacy culture and dismantle all the forms of violence that are inherent in our culture. So this is a ministry, but it is also a movement. And Manny is going to be telling you in a little while about ways that if you want to get more involved, that you can do that even from your own home. So Manny will get to that pretty soon. Enjoy your time here. Please do stay present. Please do engage. Reach out if you have questions after this service. We want to hear from you. And if you're new, drop us a note saying hello. And again, just enjoy your time. So I'd like to kick it over to Manny, who is going to be introducing himself more formally, as well as Leslie, who is our featured artist this evening, who will also introduce herself as well with, they'll be saying their names, their pronouns, and a word of blessing. So Manny.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Manny. If you didn't already know. And thank you for those tuning in live on Facebook as well. Yes, my pronouns are he, him, and his, and my word of blessing tonight to you is awakening. I'd like to pass it on to Leslie next.
I'm Leslie, composer. Um, she, her, hers. My words are always peace, wellness, harmony, and love also.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And my name is Reverend Felicia. My pronouns are she, her, hers, they, them, theirs. And my word of blessing this evening for you is dreams. Dreams or dreaming. I can't decide which one. You can decide. I'll let you do that. Now is the time where we offer our Revolution of Love blessing. And so we're going to say, we see you, we hear you, and we love you. Very important. Oftentimes people go through life not feeling seen, not feeling heard, and therefore not feeling loved. So we say this intentionally here to you, and we mean it. So now we're going to say this one time, big together, and come off of mute. It'll be a cacophony of voices saying it. Don't worry about it. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. We see you.
See you. Hear you.
Love you. Yes, wonderful. I usually hear someone yelling. It's usually my parent. Yeah, there's my mom. Okay, good. Can't go on without hearing that. So without further ado, we're going to move right into the, let's see, the mission statement and the newly revamped vision statement. And Dr. Robert Gross is going to be reading those things for us.
Thank you, Rev. I am looking at it and waiting for it to come up. Okay, all right. The Revolution of Love, Ministry and Movement, Mission Statement. It is an inclusive, diverse global ministry and movement focusing on the inner work of self and the outer work of service through the teachings of nonviolence, spiritual psychology, and philosophy. The Revolution of Love is a global ministry and this is the vision statement. The Revolution of Love is a global ministry and movement of spiritual renewal and outreach dedicated to healing, transformation, and love. We embrace people where they are at religiously, spiritually, and welcome those who may be agnostic or atheists. It is a brave space, a place of inclusivity and diversity, a place where we celebrate our similarities and our differences. It also acts as a springboard to inspire and motivate us to change ourselves and the world we live in. At the Revolution of Love, we commit to our highest good. We transform through a heart and mind opening experience, and we claim our divine responsibility and honor to be change agents in the world. We do not enable, co-sign, or align with any system, structure, or policy of hatred, oppression, or violence. We do stand for positive peace. We work for transformative justice. We bring absolute compassion and radical love, and we believe in God with all its names. We are the visionaries and the dreamers, architects of peace, strategists creating a new world of what ought to be today. No matter who you are, what you look like, where you come from, who you love, we welcome you, we love you. The time is now. This is the revolution.
Yes. Thank you so much, Rob. Appreciate you. And that's the newly fresh, hot off the press vision statement. You can look at the older one and see the differences, little shifts that have made that are very important, in my opinion, very important. And now, Manny, would you do us the kindness of letting us hear those announcements?
Absolutely. Thank you, Rev. And thank you, Rob, for reading the mission and vision statement. Nice to hear those key little differences. They do make a difference. All right. So we do have some announcements for you. I know it's been a long time. It was like last year that we read the last one. So to start us off, please go to our Linktree for a one-stop shop to be informed of all the latest happenings here at the Revolution of Love. You can sign up for Rev Felicia's midweek boost and service invite. Highly encourage you to do that. You can also connect with the Revolution of Love Facebook group and learn of ways to be of service and get into action. Starting this Tuesday, Reverend Felicia will be on Zoom with the Holy Spirit Retreat Center, leading discussions and teaching on topics such as forgiveness and anger from a spiritual and justice-based lens. These are the first and third Tuesday of the month from 7 to 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. And most of what I'll be discussing tonight will all be included in our Linktree and additional links after I'm done speaking. So how is the Revolution of Love a movement, you might ask? Well, by inviting you into action. In 2021, we will continue to present to you different events and actions that you can take part in. Even during a pandemic, even for folks that may not be able to get out into the streets, you can do something. For starters, you can educate yourself. Check out our abolition resources link that I'll be providing later as well. Remember, Revolution of Love is a visionary ministry and movement committed to justice and agape love. Between services, we educate ourselves on what may seem idealistic or utopian, that we bend the arc towards justice. What else can you do in the way of action? Go to blacklivesmatter.com. I have already posted a link if you'd like to check that out, and find a chapter near your city. White identified folks, look up a local chapter of SURGE, which stands for Showing Up for Radical Justice. And there's a website, it's that.org. SURGE was integral in phone banking with their Swing Georgia Left calls. Again, go to our Linktree link showing up, it'll show you the events and calls available. There are upcoming calls you can register for right now to swing Georgia left again and tip the balance in the U.S. Senate. Now, that out of the way, a word about social media. Are you subscribed to the Revolution of Love Ministry and Movement YouTube channel? If not, please do that while you can. And while you're there, subscribe to Reverend Felicia's YouTube, her personal one. Also, we are live on Facebook, as I had mentioned. So everyone, share this service either tonight or tomorrow on your social media pages. This is one way to get the word out and contribute to this ministry. On that note, you are receiving a great blessing from these services. I know I am for sure. If you can, please donate. No amount is too big or too small. And if you cannot donate, then find some other way to give back and support Revolution of Love. A healthy church means a healthy reciprocity flow. Can't donate? Then please share, as I had mentioned, Revolution of Love on your Facebook, or take a webinar, invite people to service. Please invite people to service. Get the word out. Everyone can give back in some way or another. We appreciate you. We love you. Till next time.
Yes, Manny, till next time. And there's so many options. So yes, if you can't give a monetary donation, a love offering in that way, don't worry about it. Next week, we're going to have Judy Phillips, who's going to be offering some spoken word for us. Taylor has done that. You can offer music. Hey, you can help us out with the techie stuff. You can talk to Manny and say, do you need anything? There are so many ways to give back, but we really all must take into consideration that a healthy ministry movement means that people are actively engaged and that there is a good reciprocity flow. Yes? Yes. So with that, Taylor has also been very present. He's been making these graphics, these memes, as he calls them, these graphics, and they've been spreading around the country. And so, Taylor, would you say a word about those, please?
Word.
Thank you, Taylor. Taylor gets to the point. Taylor gets to the point, doesn't he?
Hi, everybody. Those memes, and I'm looking on expanding the designs on them. Those are so we can together spread the word in all the corners of the globe. And, it's the inclusivity of this ministry is what really, really gets me going, and that's what those memes are, to continue that and to give back that gift that was given to me of being welcomed in. So pretty please, with sugar on top, get the memes and spread them out to the four corners of the globe. Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. Love it. Love it. So yes, spread those memes, share the service right now. If you work those social media networks, I posted it on my page already. We're live streaming that way. So feel free to share and get the word out. And it's happening. I can feel it. I don't know if anybody else can, but the energy is really lifted and it feels really great. Thank you. So now I get to introduce Leslie D Judd, and already she has blessed us this evening. Yes. And she's going to do that in another moment, but I would really like to tell you some about Leslie and what she has already done, all the breadth of work that she has accomplished already in her life. Leslie D Judd is a composer and singer-songwriter, started composing at age 12 and began her career as a touring musician in the 70s. Long committed to creating performance opportunities for women performers and composers, Leslie worked with Kay Gardner to co-found the New England Women's Symphony in Boston in 1978 and shaped and produced the Classical Women's Music Series at NWMF in Bloomington from 1980 to 1990, along with, and I hope I'm saying her name right, Kaia Skaggs, Rebecca Kite, and Lea Pearson. She was the project manager for Kay's Ouroboros, Seasons of Life, Women's Passages at NWMF in 1994. Currently, Leslie is co-producer and treasurer for Women in the Arts, National Women's Music Festival, Inc., as well as Special Projects and Orchestra Producer. Her prime, and I love the clarity of purpose, listen to this, her prime objective in music is to enhance peace, wellness, and harmony. I present to you Leslie D Judd. Leslie. Are you muted by chance? Because I don't think we can hear you. Let's see.
Sorry, I was in a zone.
You were in the zone. I love it.
In a zone. I had to take the headset off because I don't want to be distracted. Except I will be remiss if I do not say hello to Phoenix from Phoenix. So there. I know I've leaned on you these past few days. You know, you've depended on me too. Changes in the air, who knows where the spirit will take us? We've drifted in on the wind. That's how we'll leave. Now I wrap my wings around me to shelter me from harm. I'm silent through the changes, though sometimes I come up screaming. And one thing I've learned is we must face this world before us. You can't cover up the sky with your hand. In a dream, I saw a rainbow. You were one of the colors. Then I heard my grandmother from the distance. She said, listen to the wind. You were born on the wind, living in the city. I must wrap my wings around me to shelter me from harm. I'm silent through the changes, though sometimes I come up screaming. And one thing I've learned is we must face this world before us. You can't cover up the sky with your hand. I know I've leaned on you these past few days. You know, you've depended on me too. Changes in the air. Who knows where the spirit will take us? We drifted in on the wind. That's how we'll leave. And one thing I've learned is we must face this world before us. We can't cover up the sky with our hands. Can't cover up the sky.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, Leslie. I hope you can hear me when I say I give thanks for you and your musical gifts to this moment right now and tuning into what needed to be sung and played. And this piece, and as you highlighted earlier, piece, not a piece of music, but P-E-A-C-E, this piece. And so let us now, as we go further into this moment, we avail ourselves of any misgivings, of any doubts, of any worries or any despair that has been plaguing our hearts for too long. And let us really be in this cave experience. Remember, my friends, we only took a week off. I hope you have not forgotten that we have been in the cave. And we have been churning and burning in this cave with what? With God, whatever you call God, with love, with Goddess, all the many names. We have been churning and burning with the Spirit. And this change that Leslie just sung about, this change that is happening, that is before us. There's something I want to place just so before we leave this cave, before this change. I want to ask you something. This is a test. Are you ready to dream? And are you someone that supports others' dreams? This is very important. It is important, my friends, to come back to our dreams and to be dreamers. And I'm not saying we rest there wholly in the sense that we never move from a place of dreaming. I'm not saying we never move into action. What I'm saying is that if we do not dream bigger than we ever have, we will keep on getting what we are getting. Look, we have been in a class called Violence 101 since the day that we were born. Sorry to say it. I know it's a spiritual service. Sometimes people don't want to hear about violence when they come into an environment such as this. But let us be real in this new year and this new beginning, that in fact, we have been in a class called Violence 101. We have been socialized in a myriad of form of violence. We have been inflicted upon in this violence. We've experienced it. And yes, if we're really honest, we have perpetrated in some way. Maybe it's upon ourselves. Maybe it's upon a community. And Manny, please put the definition of violence when you can in the chat. Please, if you can. Violence is not only physical force. Violence is emotional degradation. It's any time there's a domination or a destruction or a destroying of others through various means and ways. And so we have all experienced violence. And what am I saying? Okay. Violence degrades us and it negates our dreams. It negates our ability to dream. It negates our dreaming. And from that place, we no longer know how to support someone else's dreams. We no longer know how to come alongside somebody and amplify their dreams. And maybe we don't even have the wherewithal because of the violence that we have endured to come alongside a community and reach for their dreams and see their dreams and work for their dreams. Dreaming is necessary. When we dream, get this, we are closest to the divine. When we say, and if there's nothing you hear this evening, hear this, please. When we say yes to our dreams, when you support someone else's dream, when you support a community's dream for justice, for transformation, for positive peace, we begin to create the collective dream. That's how important. We think sometimes we're dreaming for peace and we're working for peace. But if we're really honest, there is a wall and there is some kind of line that sometimes comes in that you just can't cross. See, we don't want any walls here. We don't want any lines. We want to vision and dream bigger than we ever have before. Amen? Amen. So in this cave, there are dreams. There are your dreams. There are the dreams in the collective. There are dreams for communities that often are getting their dreams in this cave. Before we are able to leave it, there is a test, and that is, are you going to dream? And are you going to be someone that supports others' dreams? It's important to analyze. We went through the macro just a wee bit around the violence. We could go more into the structures and the systems and the institutions that negate and degrade our dreams. We could do more of that, but prayerfully you get it. You get where I was going and you can feel it. I want to take us into the micro now, into the micro. There are reasons why people cannot show up for others' dreams. And I want to speak to you right now. I want to speak right to your hearts that for those of you that have had a dream and you have not felt supported, and you maybe have felt ostracized, and you maybe have felt laughed at, or maybe you have felt totally alone in that dream. Often people just think, well, they're just mean, you know, oh, that person was just mean to me. We have to actually analyze this. It's very important. I'm going to go over 3 reasons why people often, and maybe that person has been you have not supported someone's dream, but why these dreams aren't supported, and therefore why people stop dreaming. The first reason is this. Number 1, capacity. I'll give you the 3 reasons first, actually. Capacity, envy, and grief. These are 3 things on a micro level now that negate people's experience or ability, I should say, to dream and to support others in their dreaming. And so if you have had that experience where you have not felt seen or heard or supported, it's often not because someone is intentionally doing something to you, is that they do not have the capacity to see you and to support you. I'm going to take you back. Let's go. I was 27 going on 28. And I remember receiving my dream through a call to ministry. And some of you know this story very, very well, but it's worth telling again. It's worth repeating for this evening. And that is, I went to Carl's Jr., like you do on your birthday at 3 a.m. And I went through the drive-through, and at the drive-through window was a man that appeared to be experiencing homelessness. And we began to talk. And he asked if I had a cigarette. I was a fiend of a smoker in those days. And I was smoking, but I didn't have a pack with me. And I said, I'm sorry, I left my pack at home, man. And we continued to talk. And he asked me if I wanted to get high. And for some reason, I broke my anonymity, as it is called, in 12-step. And I said, oh, no, I'm clean and sober, actually. And from there, his face shifted. Because I said those words, and he got very honest with me. And he said, this is killing me. It's killing me. And then he said, I haven't seen my wife and my kid in 10 years. And he went on to tell me about his life. And eventually it led up to, I used to be somebody. And I said, you still are. And I was sort of feebly attempting to try and say something right or bring some hope or something. And all I could think of was asking him his name, which people always feel seen. If you know the name, you begin to form a more connection between. And I said, please, just don't give up. There's always hope. Just don't give up. There's always hope. And with that, eventually my food came and I drove off. And what I experienced after that was a dream came in. I was wide awake. And that dream was that I would speak and that I would write, that there had been a myriad of things that had happened in my life, some fantastic, a lot of violence prior. And that from that place, I would get to speak and write. I was very excited about this for a few hours. And after a few hours, after I woke up actually in the morning, all of the doubt, all of the who do you think you are, all of the fear came in. And for those of you that don't know me, that might be surprising, but I was still very riddled with fear and doubt. And I got scared. It's interesting because, and I'm sure you've experienced this, if you have a doubt or some place of misgiving about yourself, what generally happens? You begin to attract other folks that will mirror that doubt to you and for you. So you can A, either work it through, or B, just keep repeating it and repeating it over and over again. Prayerfully, you'll work through it, yes? So that's what happened. That's what happened. I had this big dream come in, this gargantuan dream that was so exciting. And I would tell people and I would be scared. I had not stepped in. I had not gone into high resolve of this dream yet. And so people would mirror my own doubt and my fear and sometimes laugh, sometimes actually laugh, or sometimes say, who do you think you are for this dream that you have? I wish it's one of those, I wish I would have known then what I know now. But thankfully and prayerfully, I've learned some things. And that was the capacity. There's capacity, there's envy, and there's also, I think, the biggest culprit, and that is grief. And so when people have, and if this is you, and you have not lost your dream, or whatever that might be, know this: people only have a certain capacity to hold and be present for you. And it's very important. That's one of the reasons why we created the Revolution of Love. That's one of the reasons why we do these services, is to really continue to ignite you, to be that person, to show up for yourself and believe in your dreams, but also alongside somebody else and support them. That's what this hope cycle is about. That's why there's spiritual tools given to you to increase your capacity, to increase your capacity. So that first element of why someone may not be able to show up for you, it is about capacity. And the antidote to that is presence. It's just stopping. And I talked about this weeks back in the Art of Pause, and I said, look, practice, utilize your spiritual tools, get a spiritual toolkit. You will be more present to people. See, often life is going so fast. Life is going so very fast. And what happens is we don't actually show up for people in the way that they need. We might show up for people in the way that we need. So this first thing, my friends, about dreams is really being present. If you're one that struggles with capacity and you feel like you are maxed out, then that means you need to increase your spiritual toolkit. That means you need to increase your spiritual capacity and be present to people. That is the first thing. That is the first thing. So for me, for example, I needed to find folks that could hold this dream, that could hold that space for me. And prayerfully, after this big moment at Carl's Jr., I started finding teachers and mentors and counselors that could hold that space for me. Amen? Amen. Now, one thing I have to say is that I remember during that time, I thought, I think there needs to be a community that really gets this, because I didn't hear about it when I was going to different spiritual communities. I didn't hear this kind of thing. And so again, that is part of why Revolution of Love was created, was to talk about these things, and was to abolish the next thing, was to increase the capacity, but to abolish the next thing. And that is number 2, this ugly culprit, that is envy. Now, some of you may know exactly what I mean. You may have been on the receiving end of envy. And now envy is different than jealousy. Jealousy is not it's not as harmful. Envy is extremely destructive energy and force. And those of you, look, you're bright, shining lights. Those of you that have been on the receiving end of envy, you know how bad it feels, and you know how it will negate your dreams. And left unattended, one begins to become smaller and smaller and smaller. And so tonight I'm telling you, you must not go into that, take in that envy. You must not internalize it, and you must not do it. And so how do we do that? The technique, those of you that have been coming for a while now, the para technique, the first step in the para technique is to remember who you are. I when I heard Leslie singing about coming home tonight, it's in the same vein of that. Remembering who you are is coming home to yourself, to your community, a community. See, when we know who we are, we will not project what we think we don't have onto someone else. See, that's where envy comes in. We begin to project and say, oh, that person has this and I don't have it. And then the envy comes in. And you know what? So what if you don't have it? So what if you don't have that gift or that blessing that so-and-so over here has? Because you know why? You have something else maybe. Just maybe you have X, Y, or Z over here that you need to cultivate, that you need to nurture. Is something that I know all of us have experienced. We've all been on the receiving end of. It negates our dreams. And it also is something that, if we're honest, we've all done. And it's really icky. And it's really, let's just say it like this, it's not spiritual. Nah, it's not. And so it's going to take some bravery as you go through this process of analysis. New content. So please bear with me. This is all new content. We started talking about capacity and the ability for folks to be present and really hold the space for your dreams. But that is almost like, see, imagine it, that's one layer. When we go underneath another layer, the next layer is this layer of envy. And I want us to really be so bold and brave where we think, where have I been envious in my life? And where have I stomped all over someone's dreams? Instead of going, wow, what an amazing gift you have. Oh my gosh, that is an amazing dream. That is an amazing dream. And thank you so much. I am blessed to hear it. I am blessed to know you. So just as the antidote for increasing capacity was presence, the antidote for envy is celebration. We celebrate people, and it's easier to celebrate people when you know who you are, or when you come home. Okay, I'm getting into it now. I'm feeling it now. Sorry, it took me a little bit. The energy's wild tonight, I gotta say. So it is easier, I'm gonna say that again, just so we're crystal clear. It is easier to celebrate people, including yourself and your dreams, when you know who you are. Who am I? I am made in the image of love. I'm made in the image of the goddess. I'm made in the image of God. You fill in the blank. You fill however you say it. That none of that might have worked for you. I remember Melanie, when she spoke at service during the summer and we were going over this, said, I'm someone's miracle. That is who she is. That is her truth. So however it fits for you of knowing who you are and remembering who you are, you sink into it, you cement it down, you solidify it, because then you know what? It won't matter when you see someone that has a gift that you don't have. You will be able to go, oh, the joy of that, the celebration, and I get to see that. Oh, what a joy it is to amplify people's gifts and voices. One of the reasons we say we see you and we hear you and we love you, because I know so many people, maybe so many of you, have gone through life not feeling celebrated, not feeling seen, not feeling heard, and therefore really not feeling loved from the highest place. So what do we have? We have increasing our capacity by being present. So that way, yes, we can dream and we can support others in their dreams. We have tuning in to who we are. That way we can celebrate and not bring that ugly culprit of envy into our relationships, including ourselves, and pushing that out and projecting that out. And now there's a third thing this is a big one. This is a big one. And remember, I said these are like layers. So in a way, it's like there was the kind of the cursory layer that's capacity. And then, okay, we're getting a little deeper, and now deeper still. It's grief. Grief. So when people stopped dreaming a long time ago, and I'm looking at a cabinet right here, and they pushed their dreams back, or maybe they were laughed at, or maybe they were ostracized and just not cared about, not seen, not heard. They pushed those dreams away. And there's real acute grief that comes from that. And so it becomes very hard, yes, to find one's way back to dreams and to be able to come alongside someone and support them in their dreams, or even get out there. And as Manny was talking about, these piece around activism in this ministry, in this movement that is Revolution of Love, to even see someone else's, a community's dream and vision of where they need to go and grow, makes it damn near impossible. It really does. It makes it damn near impossible, because why? There is a deficit of dreams. And so if that is you, if you are feeling that, and this grief and this sorrow and this maybe regret or remorse. In fact, let me tell you a story really quickly. I'm going to tell you this story so you can fill this out a little bit. A year before my Carl's Jr. moment, something happened. And I was in Laguna Beach with my then partner. And it was it was for my birthday, and it was a hard time because I was realizing I wasn't going to be a famous musician. And that was all I had done. I had been started on classical piano. And when I got my life on track and stopped all the addictive cycles and crazy making stuff, I realized that A, my time was done, and B, and this was probably most important, I didn't want it anymore, actually. I didn't really want the music anymore, and I didn't know what to do. And so this day in Laguna Beach on my birthday, when I turned 27, I just felt such a grief. I did not know where my dream was going to come. I did not know what my dream was. I didn't know what to do. And for those of you that have experienced that feeling where you're looking back on your life, or maybe something that even just happened however many weeks back, you know, it's a tragic feeling. The way around that I can tell you is compassion. The antidote to this grief is compassion. And compassion is not something in this culture that we focus very well on. It isn't. You know, this culture, white supremacy culture, this country in particular, I'll stick with this country, that is the US of A, is about you pull yourself up by the bootstraps, you work hard, you work harder. It's all about individualism. It's all about go, 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 go. And the patriarchy and the heteronormative and all of these things. Again, this is all violence that is degrading. You know this. You know this. And so the way to counter this, my friends, is to push back on that and to call in the compassion. And the compassion, it's a very different energy. In fact, this is more of where I'm at tonight. As I am speaking to you, I pray that you can feel the love that I have for you. And I mean that in a different way than maybe some people might want to hear it, or people that you know that might say it. This is a love that is from the highest place. This is a love with no conditions. And that kind of love comes from compassion. Compassion. So how do we enter this state of compassion? You listen to those places within you that have been hurt and forlorn. You listen to those youngest parts of yourself that need healing. And the more you go there, and the more you listen and you don't judge, the more you love on those places and those spaces, little by little, maybe those dreams, they start coming out of the cabinet, of the drawer that was so pushed away. See, my friends, we want you here at the Revolution of Love. We want you to be so effervescent in compassion and love. Why? Because we need to change the world. I said it. I know it's bold. I know it sounds utopian and idealistic. I don't care. We need to change the world. So what does that mean? That means we all need to step it up. And that's going to mean turning it up and becoming the dreamers, becoming the architects of peace for ourselves and for all those we meet, and for the communities that need us, for your communities, for our communities. And remember what I said, please. Let's bring it home now, that every time we say yes to our dream or our dreams, we support someone's dream or a community's dream, we begin to create the collective dream. And I hope that my internet is still working because that is the culmination of this talk, my friends. Be brave and be bold and be earnest in your self-reflection process. Where are you at capacity? Are you present? Where are you with envy? Are you dishing that out towards people? Where are you with grief? Have compassion for yourself. And let us have compassion for you here. Don't hide out. Maybe don't wait to reach out to us between Sundays. How can we serve you and how can we love you? Every time, I'm going to say this again, every time we say yes to our dreams, every time we support someone in their dream or in a community's dream, we begin to create the collective dream. And when we dream, we are closest to the divine. Next week, we will leave the cave if we are ready. If we are truly solidified and have passed this initiation and saying, yes, I am someone who dreams, and I will never stop. And I will never stop supporting people and communities in their dreams because I believe in the collective dream. Believe, my friends, believe. And so it is. Welcome to the revolution of love. The time is now. Let us go into prayer. And please do put those prayer requests in the chat, knowing that that this is on Facebook. So I would suggest only putting first names only. First names only. And let us fall into prayer. Oh, Holy One. Holy One, we are present. I'm asking for folks right now to be more present than they have ever been, and that they carry this presence with them in the coming moments and the coming days. I pray that people are able to increase their capacity with spiritual tools that you have given us. I pray that people are going to come home right now to this spirit of celebration, a spirit of aliveness, a spirit of uplift, a spirit of really seeing people and hearing people and being in joy for them and with them. I pray that we all begin to remember compassion especially for ourselves, and not in a spiritually narcissistic way, God. We know that there is a balance here. We know there's a balance, God. And so we ask for your blessing to make us right-sized, in this compassion process. I thank you for the folks that have tuned in this evening, that have delighted in a little bit of this joy, that are delighting in this journey. And I give extra thanks for the bravery that it takes to really keep going on this path. God, keep us brave, and keep us bold. And if we can't do those things, then allow us to be gentle with ourselves. And I'm going to turn my attention to the chat and see if there are prayer requests. And I see that there is a prayer request from Evie, just saying, want to lift up right now, blessed be the collective. Yes. And then on behalf of Rhonda, a prayer that is a very big prayer that needs to be lifted up, and that is prayers for humanity. Prayers for humanity, yes. And on behalf of Rob, a prayer request for Allie and her family, as Allie's father is about to transition. So let us hold the space now. And recognizing that Allie and her whole family is going through a time such as this that is of shift. And so we send them blessings and we send them prayers of comfort. And on behalf of Mylene, continued prayers for the unhoused. So for folks that are experiencing poverty, folks that are experiencing homelessness, please, everybody, let us lift them up wherever they are. We send comfort, and we offer that love and that compassion that is in our hearts right now. And on behalf of my mother, prayers for Kelly for a successful cancer surgery. Yes. And I would also like to lift up, Leslie, my dear friend who is with us here. And so let us lift up Leslie in a healing blessing right now, my friends. She hasn't been at our service in a minute, and so I'm grateful that she is here. Oh, and then on behalf of Taylor, it says, no demands, just thank you, God. Thank you, God, for letting us know your will. Yes. And on another one on behalf of Leslie G, blessed be me and blessings for her mom. Yes. And we offer those. And on behalf of Manny, I pray that our dreams may continue or to finally begin if we have been waiting for the right moments too. Yes. And let's see now from Ken, prayers for my family. Thank you for that, Ken. And thanks for that's sweet. Thank you, Ken, for saying that. And prayers on behalf of Ken for his cousin Charles, who is in hospice care. So we lift up Charles right now. Please, everybody, let us do this. And also prayers for all of us. Yes, and also another one from Evie. Prayers for a swell of collective compassion and self-compassion. Yes, and we will always reiterate that prayer, Evie, so we thank you for lifting that up again. Any other prayers while we are in this space? I'm going to hold for just one more moment or two before we close out. I feel like there might be one. Let's see. Okay, well, I want to lift up Chris's family right now. There's a lot that is happening for our dear Chris, a congregant here, and her family, and folks that like Leona that have transitioned not that long ago, and just healing, a blanket of healing I would like to ask for. And on behalf of Judy, I knew there were some more prayers for her paternal aunt back in her life now after 29 years. And that is a blessing. And so we celebrate that We celebrate that, Judy, for you, and thank you. And prayers on behalf of Rob, prayers for Jenny's four-legged. Prayers for Jenny's four-legged, yes. And a prayer for Ken. Another prayer request for Ken, for him specifically, prayers for him that he is better able to focus on healthy activities. Yes. So focus on healthy activities. I would also like to lift up Carolyn and her dear friend Ted, who we've been actively praying for. We've also been praying on behalf of Betsy for a friend of hers. And forgive me, I am not remembering the name right now, but let's lift up Betsy's dear friend. And so anyone that has not been mentioned, anything, Tony is Betsy's friend. So we lift up Tony. And anything that has not been prayed for or mentioned, Spirit, we know that you know our hearts. We know you know what is on people's hearts right here, right now. And so even if it has not been spoken out loud, that it is happening now, we must claim this and believe this without hesitation and without doubt. That Spirit moves and that your hand of grace is truly upon all of us. And so, God, please let us increase our capacity to be present. Let us increase our ability to celebrate each other. Let us increase tenfold or more our ability to be compassionate and to dream. I just say, please, God, come be with us in this moment of dreaming. We love you, and we give thanks for your presence in our lives. I recognize that there are people from all different backgrounds here that believe in different ways. And so we just say thank you to love. We say thank you to the higher power. We say thank you to the highest love right now. And knowing that we can come back to this moment at any point throughout this week if we need a little Zumo or a little boost. Yes. And for now, we close and we say, and so it is. Amen, amen, ashe, aho. I'm going to turn it over now to Leslie, who will be closing us out with some music before we say our goodbyes. Over to you, Leslie. Oh, so much beauty. So much beauty. Thank you. Want to make sure Leslie hears. I don't know if she has her headphones on. Let us show Leslie some love. Can she hear us? I want to make sure she knows.
Yes, I
Thank
can hear
you.
you. Thank you.
Okay,
And
good.
thank you very much for this experience. It's been a while since I've had this with a union of people of like mind. So I really appreciate everyone and hope we have a really peaceful and progressive 2021.
Oh, well, thank
Stay
you very much. And we hope you will be coming back to bless us soon, right, everybody? There it is. Wonderful. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll be back next week. I want to just take a moment to thank everybody that made this service possible. And so again, Mylene, thank you for your song. And of course, Leslie for your music, and Manny for all that you do, all the tech stuff that you bring, and just your presence as well. And Taylor for what you offered, and Dr. Robert Gross. I love saying doctor. I hope he's okay with that, for the mission and the vision statement. And then of course, the trips, right? We have to thank them for guiding us, or at least one of them was there to guide us in our breathing. So important. Keep breathing, keep hydrating, keep remembering to increase your presence and your ability to celebrate each other and one another in their dreams, and also compassion for yourself. We will see you again next week. If you want to come off of mute, you can do so, and we'll say our goodbyes until next time. Thank you,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Bye. Great service, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Great to see you again. Hey, Robert.